Hi, I'm Karen Shughart. I'm an author and I write cozy mysteries that take place on the shores of Lake Ontario. My first two are Edmund DeCleryk mysteries, and Edmund's wife Annie likes to cook, as do I. So for the first two books, I shared recipes with her. And the recipe I'm going to cook tonight is one from the first book, Murder in the Museum. Annie and I both like to make shrimp with feta cheese. It's a very, very easy recipe that's great for family and friends. And you can do a lot of flexibility with it. There are lots of ways of making it. You can use fresh shrimp. You can use frozen shrimp that's already cooked. You can use frozen shrimp that's not cooked. Anyway, just be real creative about it. But it's a simple recipe. It feeds 4 to 6 people. And that and all the other recipes are in both of these books. So I hope if you like shrimp with feta cheese, you'll buy the books and see what other recipes are available. So I'm going to start right now with shrimp.
You can start.
Okay, we're going to start with 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We put it into a large skillet and heat it up. And you can add fresh chopped parsley, or you can add dried parsley, and I've chosen today to use dried parsley. But and you also have a bunch of green onions that I've chopped up. And basically you wait until the oil heats a little bit, you add the chopped onions. Pretty easy thing to do. And then you add the chopped parsley. And again, you can use fresh parsley if you have it. I've chosen to use regular parsley, and it's 4 tablespoons of chopped parsley or a tablespoon of dried, and I'm using dried. Again, this is a very, very easy recipe to make. It does not take a lot of time, and it's great for company, family too, but I like it as a company meal because it's easy. You serve it in bowls with crusty bread and a salad, and there you have it. So I'm going to stir the parsley and the onions, the green onions, until they get a little soft. And that'll take a few minutes. And then what I'm going to do is add 28 ounces of Italian-style tomatoes. Now what I've done is I've used the tomatoes that don't have extra seasoning in them. These are more plum tomatoes, Italian, like the pomodoros. And that's the basis for the sauce. And this is just a 28-ounce can of the tomatoes. I drain them because we want the sauce to be very thick. To stir in a cup of clam juice, and you can use whatever clam juice you can find at the supermarket. I'm using a bottle of it, and I am going to stir in 2 cloves of minced chopped garlic, and that's pretty much it until the sauce cooks down. We'll probably cook it for about 15 or 20 minutes until it's thick enough that we can put in the bottom of this 9 by 13 pan. Okay, so the sauce looks like it's getting fairly thick, so I'm going to turn it off. And what I'm going to do is pour it into this 9 by 13 pan. And spread it out. Okay, the next steps are actually pretty easy. I'm going to put the dirty pot in the pan, or in the sink rather. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take shrimp, and again, I chose frozen, uncooked shrimp that was already deveined, peeled, and they have the tails off. And I would recommend that whatever shrimp you use, you make sure you take the shells off and take the tails off. There's some good cooked, if you cook it raw, it has to cook a little bit longer. If it's frozen and already cooked, you don't have to defrost it. So be flexible, it's a very easy meal. I'm going to take the shrimp and just layer it over the sauce. And I used about 2 pounds, which is good for 4 to 6 people. And we actually have about that many people coming for dinner tonight. I did defrost and drain it, and as I'm putting it into the pan, I'm actually kind of pushing some of the juices away from it. So we spread that out. And then what we do is we pour, I melted a 1/2 cup of butter with a 1/2 cup of white wine, and you can use any wine you like. I used a non-oak Chardonnay because I had some open. But you pour that over the entire mixture. And you take a little bit of oregano, and I think it's probably about a tablespoon or 2 of dried oregano. You can use a little bit more if you like oregano. And just spread it over the shrimp mixture. Gives it a nice kind of Italian or Mediterranean feel to it. I will take a little bit of sea salt, and I use Malton salt, and it's very strong, so you just are very, very sparing with it, just a pinch. And a little bit of pepper. And I do my own fresh ground, but if you have a little tin of it, that's okay too. Use it to taste, just use what you like. And then the final touch is about 8 to 12 ounces of crumbled feta. Now, most supermarkets will have feta that's made from cow's milk. I happen to really, really like sheep's milk feta, and you can get that at the supermarkets where we go. I think it just gives a better, kind of more authentic taste. So that's what I'm using, but certainly if you can't find sheep's milk feta, use cow's milk feta. That's much more readily available. So 8 to 12 ounces of that, and you just sprinkle that on top. It's okay to use your hands as long as they're clean and sanitized. Spread it out as much as you can. Okay, and now we're ready to pop it into the oven. And that'll be for 20 to 30 minutes until it's hot and bubbly. And the way we're going to serve it is in bowls, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's cooked. We'll serve it in bowls with crusty bread to sop it up. You can use French, you can use crusty Italian. I happen to like a 7-grain, real crusty bread, and that's what we're using. And with the salad, and there you have your meal. So let me put that in the oven, and I'll be back to you in about a half an hour when it's ready.
Okay. All right, we're going.
Okay, I think the shrimp and feta is ready. It's bubbling. It smells great. And all we need to do now is plate it. And as you can see, it's kind of soupy, stewy. And it's great for using bread to sop up. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. I actually did chop up some fresh parsley from my garden, and I'm going to put that on top. And I have a crusty bread, and voila! Shrimp and feta cheese, very easy to make. Probably with the cooking and the prep, it's about 45 minutes. Great company dish. Also great for families. Delicious and a nice meal regardless of the season. So if you like this, there are more recipes in Murder in the Museum and Murder in the Cemetery, so go check them out. And thank you for watching.
Okay.
I didn't know you went to 10.
So here we are. We have our shrimp and feta cheese. We've got crusty bread. We've got salad. Good friends, and we're enjoying a lovely summer evening on the southern shore of Lake Ontario. We're having Pinot Noir, but you can use dry rosé. You can use Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc. Bon appetit, and enjoy the food.
Thank you. Bon appetit.
Okay.